I've seen a lot of weird things on the road, but nothing like Mile 47. It started when drivers began reporting a glowing diner sign out in the desert, a place that supposedly shut down in the 80s. The old-timers called it June's Place. Some said it was a mirage. Others said it only appears to lost drivers. I never believed any of that until the night I saw it myself. I was running a midnight load through Nevada, same route I'd driven 100 times. Around 2:13 a.m., CB came alive with a voice. Female, calm. Coffee's hot at June's, driver. You look tired. I froze. Who is this? Mile 47, pull in. We've got room. I laughed nervously. Must have been some prank. But then, through the fog, I saw it. A glowing neon sign flickering. June's Diner. Open 24 hours. Parking lot full of old trucks. 60s, 70s models, all spotless. Like a museum frozen in time. I stepped inside. Bell jingled. The place smelled like coffee and cinnamon. A jukebox playing some old tune from before I was born. The waitress looked up and smiled. Rough night on the road, hon? I nodded. You could say that, I asked. This place, wasn't this shut down years ago? She tilted her head. Not for you, it isn't. My stomach dropped. I turned to look around. The other truckers were staring at me. Pale faces, silent, every one of them still wearing their reflective jackets. Frozen in place, coffee cups steaming in their hands. Then I noticed something on the counter. A faded photograph. The same diner, same waitress. And me, the door behind me creaked. A man in an old driver cap stepped in, covered in dust. He looked at me and whispered, You shouldn't be here. I asked, What is this place? He said, This is where lost drivers stop, when they never made it home. The lights flickered. The jukebox stopped. I ran for the door. And the whole diner went dark. Next thing I knew, I was back in my cab. 2:13 a.m., same time on the dash. The diner was gone. Nothing but sand and the hum of the engine. Later I checked old highway records. June's Diner burned down in 1983. No survivors. Every year around the same date, truckers report hearing that same CB call. Coffee's hot at June's, driver. You look tired. Soft wind sound, echo of diner bell. I still drive that route sometimes. And whenever the fog rolls in, I switch off my radio. Just in case she calls again. It started like any other night run, hauling 40 tons of steel down I-70 through the Colorado mountains. Cold air, sharp turns, brake lights glowing ahead like red ghosts. I just passed the summit when the air gauge dipped. My trailer brakes were fading. I tapped the pedal. Nothing. The truck didn't slow. It sped up. I checked the downhill sign. 6 miles of descent. I keyed the CB. Brake failure on eastbound 70. Runaway load, static. No answer. The speedometer climbed. 60. 70. 80. I downshifted. Engine screamed. Smoke pouring from the stacks. Sparks flashed off the guardrail. I saw a runaway ramp sign, 1 mile ahead. But there was a minivan in the lane. Family. Kids. I couldn't risk them. I slammed the horn, flashed the lights, praying they'd move. They did. Just in time. I hit the ramp at 90. Gravel exploded like gunfire under the tires. Everything went white. When the dust settled, I was buried nose deep in gravel, engine hissing, hands shaking. My CB crackled. A voice. Driver, you alive? Yeah, somehow. The voice said, You rode that beast better than anyone could. But you're not done yet. I looked at the gauge. The trailer was heating. One brake drum glowing red, smoke building, fuel leak. I grabbed the extinguisher, jumped out, snow pelting my face. Flames caught the side tarp, roaring up fast. I thought, this is it. Then I remembered something my old man said. Truckers don't panic. They problem solve. I cut the airline, dropped the pin, let the trailer roll backward down the ramp. 10 seconds later, it exploded like thunder in the valley. Silence, snow falling, my ears ringing. State troopers arrived 30 minutes later. One of them said, "Son, you just saved half the highway." I looked down at my hands, shaking but steady. I was just trying to get home. Now every time I hit a downgrade and feel the weight pushing, I hear that voice on the CB again. "You're not done yet, driver. Maybe it's adrenaline. Maybe it's something else." But when that road tilts down and the wind screams, I tighten my grip and ride it all the way through. Some roads aren't built on maps. They're built on memory. I'd been driving freight out of Kansas for 20 years when I heard about Route 1913, an old highway, decommissioned back in the 1950s. Locals said it still shows up sometimes. When the fog rolls thick, enough to hide the signs, most drivers thought it was a myth. But one night, I found it. I missed an exit near Topeka. GPS froze. When the map came back, it showed Route 1913, faint, like an old photograph. I figured it was a back road, shorter route. The pavement changed, cracked, faded yellow lines, old wooden poles leaning into the dark, no headlights for miles. Then I saw the first car, a 40s Ford coupe, polished clean, tail lights glowing red, moving slow, too slow. I tried to pass, but when I looked over, the driver wasn't moving, hands on the wheel, face pale. I called on the CB, "Hey buddy, you okay?" No answer. I looked in my mirror. The car was gone. The air went cold, like the temperature dropped 20 degrees. A mile later, a diner appeared, neon flickering. Harry's Grill. Since 1939, I pulled in. Inside, a jukebox playing Glenn Miller. Chrome counters, folks in old clothes, smoking, laughing softly. The waitress smiled. "Haven't seen a rig like yours before." I said, "Yeah, she's a 2020 Freightliner." She frowned. 2020? That's 20 years away. My blood went cold. I looked around. Every clock read 11:47 p.m., June 3rd, 1949. I backed away, ran outside. My truck was still there, but the road behind me was gone. Just a dirt trail stretching into fog. Then a man in a wubbly-wubbly jacket stepped out of the diner and said, "You found it, didn't you?" "The road that time forgot," I asked. "What is this place?" He smiled sadly. "Where the past goes when people stop remembering." The fog thickened. The lights dimmed. I jumped into the cab and floored it. The GPS blinked. Signal regained. And suddenly I was back on I-70. No diner. No cars. Just highway lights in the rain. Later that week I searched for Harry's Grill, Route 1913. It did exist. Burned down in 1950. They never rebuilt it. Sometimes, late at night, my GPS glitches again. For a second, I see that faded line appear, Route 1913. I always keep driving, but a part of me wonders, what happens if I ever take that turn again?